You ever hear a story so messed up you wish you never knew it existed? Well, brace yourself. Because behind the front door of a quiet, ordinary-looking house, police found a scene straight out of a horror movie. Not a haunted house, not a cult ritual, no. We're talking about a suburban mom who turned her home into a private dungeon. Cages, restraints, filth, and worst of all, her own children were the victims. And the most chilling part? No one had a clue. Not neighbors, not teachers, not even social services. This isn't some exaggerated urban legend. This is a real story that shook an entire community and left even the most seasoned cops traumatized. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on a case that sounds too evil to be real. A mother who wore the mask of normalcy but was hiding unthinkable horrors behind closed doors. We'll walk through how it all came to light, what police found inside the house, and why this woman thought she could get away with it all. What started with one tiny complaint exploded into one of the most disturbing child abuse investigations in recent memory. You think you've seen dark? Just wait. This all happened in the peaceful suburb of Brookfield Heights, just outside a mid-sized city in the Midwest. A place where people leave their doors unlocked, where neighbors exchange holiday cookies, and where, on the surface, everything feels safe. At the heart of this quiet street stood a two-story house with pale blue siding and a white picket fence. The lawn wasn't perfect, but nothing screamed danger. Inside lived 36-year-old Rachel Weller, a single mother of 3. To most, Rachel was just private. She didn't really mingle with the neighbors, but no one found that strange. She waved when she needed to. She took out the trash. Her grocery runs were quick, and she always looked tired but put together. The kids, well, they were rarely seen. Most assumed they were homeschooled, or maybe shy. It's not like people went knocking to find out. But behind that front door, a nightmare was unfolding, slowly, quietly, systematically. It all started with a phone call. At exactly 3:12 a.m. on a Thursday, a neighbor named Paul Delaney dialed 911. He said he'd heard loud banging, like metal slamming against metal, then muffled screaming. It wasn't the first time he heard strange noises, but this time, it felt off. Police responded quickly. They knocked on Rachel's door. No answer. They circled the house and noted the windows were all dark, but oddly sealed. Curtains duct taped to the wall, no visible light leaking out from inside. Still no response. Officers left a note, logged the incident, and moved on. But one officer, Officer Jenna Holt, couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. She filed for a welfare check the next morning. That decision changed everything. When police returned the next day, they brought backup and a court-ordered entry warrant. They knocked again. Still no answer. When they forced the door open, the smell hit them first. Not just filth, but rot, decay. The air was thick, heavy, almost wet. Inside it was nothing like what you'd expect from a house with kids. The furniture was sparse, trash piled in corners, dishes stacked with mold. But the true horror was down the hall. The first bedroom they checked had no bed, just a metal cage. A literal cage. Welded bars. Locked from the outside. Inside, a thin blanket and a plastic bucket. The walls were scratched. Then, they found the basement. 3 more cages. Chains bolted into the concrete walls. Dirty mattresses on the floor. A camera rigged in the ceiling corner. And shelves stacked with notebooks, logs, drawings, and something police would later call her discipline journals. Rachel wasn't just abusive, she was methodical. Rachel's 3 children were found inside the house. Ava, 7, Jackson, 9, and Lily, 12. All severely malnourished, covered in bruises, scars, and burn marks. Their hair was matted, fingernails broken. They hadn't been to school in over 2 years. When questioned, the kids barely spoke. Ava rocked back and forth. Jackson avoided eye contact. Lily whispered everything, like she was scared someone might hear. One heartbreaking moment came when Ava asked the officer, "Are you going to put us back in the dark room?" They weren't just physically hurt. They were emotionally destroyed. Rachel didn't just isolate them, she starved them, beat them, told them monsters lived outside, and that only she could keep them safe. So how did she get away with it for years? Rachel was smart. She told neighbors her kids had learning disabilities and were homeschooled. She forged attendance records, even wrote fake report cards. When CPS came once, after an anonymous tip, she claimed the children were visiting their father out of state, and somehow, that was enough. One teacher at a nearby school even remembered Rachel attending a PTA meeting without her kids. She said she was looking into enrollment and just wanted to feel the environment. All fake, all calculated, every lie crafted to perfection. Rachel was arrested on the spot, and when police brought her in, they expected tears, pleas, regret. They got none of that. Instead, she was calm, cold. She asked for coffee, then said, almost casually, "They're my kids. I can raise them how I see fit." Interrogators pressed her, asked her why. Her answer, "The world's broken. I was protecting them." Protecting them by locking them in cages. The court proceedings moved fast, given the overwhelming evidence. Rachel was charged with 3 counts of felony child abuse, 3 counts of unlawful imprisonment, and intentional infliction of psychological harm. Her defense team tried to claim she suffered from untreated paranoid schizophrenia, but multiple psychiatric evaluations revealed no severe mental illness, just an extreme personality disorder and possible narcissistic traits. The jury took less than a day to convict her on all charges. The judge called it one of the most heinous and premeditated acts of child abuse I've ever seen in this courtroom. Rachel Weller was sentenced to 70 years in prison, no chance of parole. So what makes someone do something like this? Psychologists say Rachel displayed classic signs of malignant maternal narcissism. In short, she saw her children as extensions of herself, not individuals. And when they acted out of line, even slightly, she viewed it as betrayal. Add in a God complex, believing the world was evil and only she knew how to protect them, and the recipe turns toxic. One forensic expert explained it like this: this wasn't just abuse, this was domination. Rachel didn't want to raise her kids, she wanted to control every thought they had. She built a world where she was the ruler and they were prisoners. The children were immediately taken into protective custody. Lily and Jackson were placed in a trauma-informed care facility. Ava, due to her age and emotional withdrawal, was given a one-on-one caregiver. Over time, reports say they began to speak more, to smile again. One foster parent told local media, "Lily started drawing again. She's been sketching flowers, sunshine, things she probably never got to see inside that house." As for the house itself, well, it was condemned. The city demolished it within a month. Neighbors said they couldn't sleep knowing what happened just feet away. It's hard to make sense of a story like this. A mother, the one person meant to protect you, turns out to be the monster under the bed. And for so long, no one saw it coming. But that's the point. Evil doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes it wears yoga pants and picks up groceries. Sometimes it waves to you across the street. This story is a reminder to always speak up when something feels off, no matter how small. One complaint, one noise report. That's all it took to break the silence. If this story hit you hard, you're not alone. These are the kinds of truths that make you question everything, and that's why we tell them. Drop your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. I'm really curious to see what you think about this story, and if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you found this story shocking, there's more where that came from. We'll be covering more true crime cases that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious. We'll see you again soon here on Unsolved Case.